Hi there, it's Albert. Thank you for clicking on the video, and in today's video I'm going to be taking you through some training footage over the past couple of days, and then I'm going to be revealing a study towards the end of this video which has been completed within the last year that is showing you about how necessary resistance training is to be incorporated within any person's lifestyle. It's not just for bodybuilders and for powerlifters, but it's going to show you about why it's so necessary and needed for somebody to be healthy. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for coming onto this video. I'm a YouTuber who creates videos based around educating and entertaining people, but mainly educating people about how they can lose fat around their current lifestyle following a flexible dieting approach, so they can still fit it around the lifestyle, so they can eat out, they can still have alcohol, have cakes and biscuits 20 to 30% of the time, then 70 to 80% of the time still lead a healthy diet lifestyle by having complex carbohydrates, eating lean protein sources, etc. So if you're interested about how to lose fat and tone up, not just lose weight but lose fat, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. I've also got a free weight loss calorie calculator ebook, which is the first link in the YouTube description. It's going to really help you to start losing fat today, so go ahead and click that first link. Just here you've seen some squats already. This was from this morning. It was very frosty, so I had to put some gloves on to hold the barbell. Started off with some 104 kilo squats, but what I'm finding in the morning is that basically I have to go straight to work after my training, so I do a run and go straight into the weight training. So I'm quite tight in the glutes and tight in the quads, so I wasn't feeling particularly mobile in this day, and I wasn't wearing my squat shoes. I just wanted to experiment without wearing them for a squat session. So the 104 kilos didn't feel that light as it normally does. So the sets of 10 reps didn't go too smoothly, but I still managed to complete them. I did the squats, and then I went straight into 78 kilo walking lunges, supersetted with weighted pull-ups, and I added 5 kilos to my body weight. But sorry, I forgot to add with the squats that I did bent over rear delt flies to really target the upper back. I really do emphasize anybody who does weight training or is new to weight training, make sure you do a lot of upper back exercises to help strengthen that upper back, because it's so common for a lot of people to do press-ups, a lot of pushing movements that work the front of the shoulder, because the shoulder is incorporated in so many movements, and then you'll find that you get overdeveloped shoulders, and it emphasizes the roundedness of your shoulders, just because a lot of people do jobs where they're in an office, they're at work, they're leant forward, having to hunch the shoulders. So by doing lots of stretching for the pectorals in particular and the shoulders, lots of stretching, opening out the chest cavity, and doing lots of upper back exercises, it helps to balance that out so you can have a really neutral posture and a neutral spine. The study that I was going to refer to, I've got it up on the screen next to me. I'm going to read a little bit to you, but the title of it, I'll be able to, I'll leave a link to it in the YouTube description, but it's called Normal Weight but Low Muscle Mass and Abdominally Obese, Implications for the Cardio-Metabolic Risk Profile in Chronic Obstructive Pulmonary Disease. And just to make that and break that down, and so it sounds like common English, basically it's looking at people who are normal weight but have a low muscle mass ratio on their body compared to fat mass, and that have a lot of adipose tissue in the abdomen area, and the implications for their cardiometabolic risk profile. So just looking at the methods and the results, it was a cross-sectional study including 81 clinically stable patients with chronic COPD, I'm going to break it down as, but it stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, about age 62 and a half on average, with a fat-free mass index of lower than 25% percentile eligible for outpatient pulmonary rehabilitation. Body composition, blood biomarkers, blood pressure, physical activity level, dietary intake, and physical performance were assessed at baseline and in the subgroup after 4 months of exercise training. And what the results showed is that mean body mass index was roughly 22.7 kilograms per meter squared. That might not sound like common English again, don't worry about it. 75% of patients had abdominal obesity in the group. Abdominal obese patients had higher glucose, insulin, homeostatic model assessment for insulin resistance, branched chain amino acids, and higher prevalence of metabolic syndrome compared with those without abdominal obesity. So just take that into account about all the things that the people who did have abdominal obesity, what they were having, like the high glucose, insulin, branched chain amino acids, and metabolic syndrome prevalence compared to those without obesity, abdominal obesity. Exercise training improves cycling endurance time and quadriceps strength. I'm not able to access what they did as a training method, but what I'm getting from the results section here is that the exercise they had to do for this for this study was exercise training on a cycling endurance, like probably a static resistance bike or something, and improve their quadriceps strength and improve their cycling endurance time, but it didn't yield a clinically meaningful improvement of the cardiometabolic risk profile. Triglycerides showed a significant decrease, while the HOMA-IR, which stands for Homeostatic Model Assessment for Insulin Resistance, increased. So what I'm trying to get at here, well, I'll read the conclusion first and then tell you what I think. The conclusion says abdominal obesity is highly prevalent in normal weight patients with COPD with low muscle mass who showed an increased cardiometabolic risk compared with patients without abdominal obesity. This cardiometabolic risk profile was not altered after 4 months of exercise training. So what I'm trying to get at here is that what they're able to do with the resistance cycling, so they're on a static bike doing cycling, and again I'm assuming it's an intensity which is pretty high. They're able to improve quadriceps strength, so the muscle in the upper leg, as well as improving their time, which has a little bit of an effect. But again, this is more cardiovascular exercise. And what resistance training does is that it's able to increase muscle mass throughout the whole body if you do different compound exercises. So what I'm trying to say is that having more muscle mass on your body, if it was incorporated into this study, they would have seen a statistically significant improvement in the cardiometabolic risk profile. It's because they didn't incorporate resistance training. They just did the static cycling, which improved a little bit of quadriceps strength. But again, they're only looking at muscles in the upper leg. They're not doing it for the whole body. And you need to have heavy resistance training. You need to be using weights and targeting specific muscle groups with specific exercises and being able to fatigue the muscle group you can vary it up, but between 6 and 12 to 15 reps. Usually about 6 to 15 reps is the hypertrophic rep range where you'll be able to see muscle mass increase, and anything lower than that increases the amount of weight you're able to use and load, more orientated towards strength. Doing a combination of strength training and hypertrophy training is going to put you in the best position, and if they incorporated this into this study, they definitely would have seen a statistically significant improvement in the cardiometabolic risk profile. Sorry this turned into a bit more of an audio video, but it's going to go back to normal tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video.